Hello, my friends, and welcome to News of the Week. Huge news. A newstalk listener recently rang into the radio station to order women against their will to stop wearing bikinis in the gym.
It was never really an issue in the fitness industry for years. But up to the last few years, when social media came in and a lot of people are filming themselves, the scanty clothing has boomed in gyms over the last few years. And so you have a lot of young girls actually wearing bikinis when they're working out now.
But not actual bikinis, though.
No, workout bikinis. That's what's happening, and it can be very intimidating in the gym for people as well. It's practically narcissism. It is. Someone has great six pack, and young girls have some amazing shaped bodies, and they're just showing them off basically. And they should cover it up a little bit,
Right. Content creator and personal trainer Natalie Lennon is with us too. You've probably noticed too, Natalie, gym clothes. I see it myself over the years. It's changed dramatically, hasn't it?
It has changed dramatically, and I completely agree with that. But I think it's crazy to say that they are pretty much bikinis and that it's borderline narcissism. Like, for years, women were told to be skinny, and now we're embracing strength, muscle, and we're being shamed again. Like, we should be allowed to feel empowered, not policed. To blame a woman for someone else's distraction, it's outdated and it's problematic, and it's like an issue on them if they can't manage their distractions. It's not our responsibility to fix it with regards to what we wear.
I found that to be a very violent encounter, that encounter there. Very triggering for children of divorce. It's like mommy and daddy are fighting all over again. I mean, this guy might be an evil genius, because the way the women have responded is by dressing up in a very scantily clad manner and doing squats to camera on TikTok with this sound playing. And it's kind of this defiant illustration of the spirit of the Joan of Arc to say that they will never be controlled, ever. And I spent a few hours for research purposes watching these videos last night. And there is a lot of skin on show, ladies. A lot of skin. The outline of the ass is there. The legs are there. There's nipples sometimes. It's all out there. And this is like a battle between liberalism and conservatism. The conservatives are kind of saying, look, we promise that this ban on gym bikinis is not sort of one step in a series of many that will eventually lead to mandatory burqas in public. We just don't want to see the outline of your genitalia. And the Liberals kind of respond by going, we are free human beings with inalienable rights. With whose authority do you tell us what to do? Decency itself is oppressive if we want to be indecent. And then the Conservatives kind of go, oh, well, in the Bible it says that modesty is good, and, Western civilization is built upon that book. And then the Liberals kind of go, well, in the Bible, it says that you should stone gays and not eat shellfish, and that giants once roamed the earth. And it just goes on and on forever. And this has been going on since the Roman Empire. I'm reading a book about the Roman Empire at the moment. It's like, this has been going on for 2,000 years, guys. We need to find the answer. And actually, women nowadays do dress like Roman statues. I mean, they wear less clothes than Bianca Censori does on a red carpet. But the question is, should they be allowed to? And I think the answer is yes to that. One thing that kind of grinds my gears about middle-aged people is that they always want to force young people to never make any mistakes. Parents always say to their kids, like, oh, well, I took drugs, I had underage sex, I failed my leaving cert. And because it's led me to this miserable life, and because I care about you, I order you not to do any of these things. And so then they find their 14-year-old kid smoking a joint, and it's like World War III breaks out. Suddenly their kids have no right to any fun, even though they had all the fun. It's like those communist fucking despots who live in luxury as the peasants starve to death on the fields of Ukraine. It's insanely hypocritical. I think young people have the right to make fools of themselves. Once I saw a guy taking a shit on a crowded shopping street. It happened in 2014, about 11 years ago. I'll never forget it. And a lot of guys shit on the street, but what made this guy so different was that he actually wiped his arse on the street. He rummaged through his pockets when he was finished, and his hand emerged holding just a rough, scrumpled up couple of tissues. And so what he started to do was that he would pick off a little bit, just a little bit, and shove it up his arse, take it out, and then he would just drop it. And it was a really windy day, so suddenly there was shit balls flying through the air, women screaming, children crying. people running in all directions. It was a terrorist attack. So then let's just say that the next day, some old fogey gets on the radio and implores men to stop pooing on the street. And then in response, all these TikTokers get on the internet and start shitting on the street in solidarity. And they lobby the government to criminalise hate speech against street shitters. And they, and people start flying home from Australia to vote in the street shitting referendum. The only reason why you think this scenario sounds ridiculous is because we live in a world where we are dominated by toilet twats and bidet bitches. So the street shitters just have to literally not be themselves. The woman who responds to the guy that says the gym bikinis are intimidating to look at basically tells him to take accountability for his own distractions, Does she feel the same way when she's flashed on the bus? You know what I mean? Take responsibility for your own distractions. As a big penis is dangling in her face, if she screams, is that outdated and problematic? And she also does a little bit of a distraction herself because she says that women were pressured to be skinny and now they're embracing being strong and they're being criticised again. And it's not really to do with that. It's to do with the fact that I don't want to look at the sweat stains of your arse crack when I'm doing bicep curls. I mean, look, the world we live in, we all need to get along. And I think we all care about each other and we don't need to be divided about this stuff. We just think different things. And these young people are going to agree with older people. When they get older, it's a tale as old as time. And the system we currently live in means that everybody gets a vote. Democracy means whether something is right or wrong, the people decide whether it's right or wrong. My vote is equal to the vote of a homeless person. A homeless person's vote is equal to the vote of the president of the country. A cancer survivor's vote is equal to a paedophile's vote. And that is the system we seriously take pride in. And it's kind of odd. It basically means that morality depends on the views of 45-year-old overweight guys who hang out in pubs and wear another man's second name on the back of the English football jersey they wear, all the while hating the Queen. Whereas Plato felt that actually only people who have their brains plugged in should be able to decide what happens. And that makes us uncomfortable because it implies that human beings aren't equal. It also makes us uncomfortable because we know Plato was smarter than we are. And people can rationalize and go, well, the only reason why he thought that way is because he was of the time he's from. Okay, yeah, Shifra. I'm sure if he witnessed Brat Summer and saw enough people serving and had enjoyed Jedward, it would have really restored his faith in humanity. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching News of the Week. Let's do this again sometime.